وأنت ببعض بيجامع كحل. ماشي. شوف ما كحل بس أنت بعدين لا طبعا. إذا أنا من كده تبعتها ومتى. ما الحجين بعشر حيوان ما. بعشر حجين ما. واحد ثاني بالضبط. لا قرب جواب عمه وايد ولا ما هذا بالصبر جت شيء لو على حال انك تجي العالم شيلي
I don't always care about facts. I care about like other people's happiness.
Well, as a trans non-binary person, I do appreciate having a gender-neutral space for children. I mean, kids need to be able to grow up in a place where they feel accepted and, where they're allowed to be in. That being said, I understand why Girl Scouts has tried to keep themselves in a gender-specific kind of space because women are still, a sort of oppressed group in America.
How are they oppressed?
You want me to get into this theory of all
just a couple, like 5 facts.
5 facts. Yeah, I mean, lived experience. Yeah, probably should talk about the wage gap that is still exists in America. Should talk about just
the fact that like women make 73 cents on the dollar to men, but it's been like debunked and proven that like they just have different life choices. And then if women actually made less money than men, why wouldn't companies just hire women?
Yeah, I don't believe that because I've taken a couple feminist theory classes. Off the top of my head, I can't actually state any facts. I wish I could pull some up right now. But no, it is definitely a sexist world that we live in. As a reporter myself, I'd like to say that it's interesting that you're inserting your own view when you're asking these questions and kind of inserting your comments in between in order to kind of change the dialogue. I don't think that that's necessarily the kind of approach that most reporters would say is...
I'm not most reporters.
Yeah, you're not.
No. Why do he deserve a Nobel Peace Prize? Like, okay, I get like, okay, he ended the war, but he just striked, what did he strike? Syria, I think? Yeah, he just strike them. So how he gonna do that and end the war but trying to start another one?
Let me ask you this. President Obama received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009 after a few months in office, and he actually is the one that started strikes in Syria, and he also started strikes in Yemen. He started strikes in Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia. He started eight different strikes around the world, and he got the Nobel Peace Prize. So on those grounds, wouldn't that still qualify Donald Trump for the Peace Prize?
Nice. But Obama is great. Obama is real good. Let's talk about the good things he did. He done bought us Obamacare. He done bought us some other things. Obama is just good. And he won 2 terms. I don't think Donald Trump finna get his 2nd term.
What's your name, man?
Yabali.
We're here to talk and ask people what they think about Trump's building the southern border wall. Is it a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a bad idea.
Last Mexican president actually expelled over 150,000 people out of his country. So if Mexico believes that it's right to expel people out of their country and protect their borders, why do we not have the right to do the same with our southern partner?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain how, but they just don't want. They don't like the ideas the one he made.
So what would be the benefits of not having a border?
Just destroy it, let them pass, probably.
Okay, and what would be the negative sides of having a border?
This is a hard part.
What'd you say?
It's a hard part, a hard question. Yeah, I just wish they can blow up the border up. I just wish people can come in
Want to blow it up? What kind of explosives would we use to blow up the border wall?
Look, like hammer or C4 or something.
Like hammer, explosive hammers?
Yeah, explosive hammers.
Okay, that's pretty good. And if other than like explosive hammers and those kinds of things, where do you think we could get the explosive hammers?
We're gonna ask the military guys if they can understand with us. Like they want to have a new life. They want to make new friends, new family, new jobs, new cars.
All right, so you're in college and you're looking at me right now. I mean, you have eyes, right? You're not blind.
No, I'm not.
And you accepting that I am a black gay woman.
Yes.
Why?
You said you wanted to be one, so I guess that's what you are.
Okay, so if I wanted to be a bicycle, would you agree that I'm a bicycle?
I mean, I guess in my head I wouldn't walk past you and think he's a bicycle. But if you kept telling me you were a bicycle, I guess I would just, in my head, let you be a bicycle.
I believe it's a bad idea.
Could you explain why you believe it's a bad idea?
Because everyone should be treated the same. I don't think people from Mexico should be borderline. I think they should be part of our country.
So if you know that the Constitution actually outlines that the president's job is to secure our borders and to secure the sovereignty of our country. So by doing that, he's actually just doing his job. Do you think that he's doing the right thing by following the Constitution or the wrong thing in that place?
I mean, I feel he's doing the wrong thing because many presidents before him haven't done what he's trying to do now.
Like, did you know that President Obama deported more Hispanics to Mexico than any president before him?
No, I did not know that.
And did you know that President Obama also deployed and militarized the southern border with National Guard before Trump ever did that?
No, I did not know that. But that's pretty crazy how that happened and everything like that.
With all the fallback that comes from being transgender and all the problems you receive, it's not so much a mental issue as it is just a issue in society, I think. I mean,
okay, so who decides what's mental issues?
the doctors. It's
Okay, so
hospitals.
yeah, so basically the scientists decided it was. So, but you said it's a social issue. So, who changed it to being a social issue?
Sorry. It's just that no one changed my opinion. It's just I see that and I don't see it as a mental issue. I don't think it's a mental problem.
So you're kind of like the judge of your own world, basically.
Yeah, I think I would say that.
So then, who decides truth?
I'd leave that up to the doctors and
Which decided that's mental illness?
yeah, the fine men and women who actually put their lives into deciding these things. And
Right. So the ones that you put your trust in decided it was a mental disorder. So then, wouldn't that make it a mental disorder?
yeah, that makes me wrong.
Do you believe in that there's more than two genders?
Yes, I do actually.
How many genders are there?
I don't know how many genders there are, but I just know everybody is who they want to be. Female, male, liquid, whatever they call themselves.
So like liquid, like how do you identify as a liquid?
Liquid transgender, I've heard that's people that just one day they just want to dress as females, some days they want to dress like more male-ish. That's as far as I know, as I've seen on.
But you do say you're a believer in science, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so are you familiar with genetics?
Yes.
Okay, so did you know on our 23rd chromosome, it's actually our X, our Y, or our XX, which determine our sex. And basically in every human being, we have a component inside of us that determines whether we're male or female. And there's actually no genetic alternative that tells us whether we're anything different. Although there are some anomalies like Klinefelter syndrome, which you could be intersex. It's a rare genetic anomaly. Being the fact that our sex actually determines who we are, do you think it's possible then for someone to be male or born female and then turn into the opposite gender?
Yeah.
How so?
I don't know, but I'm born female, and then I have feelings for other females.
Right, which would be bisexualism, which is sexual attraction, which has nothing to do with your gender.
Yeah, I don't know, but I believe in that. I believe that could happen.
So what defines what defines someone's gender? How do you define when someone's a male or a female?
I honestly I wouldn't know how to answer that.
So then how can we guarantee they could change it if we don't even know how they are what they are?
That's a good question. Don't know. I don't know.
I'm a non-binary man, so there's a part of me that's not entirely man, and there's a part of me that's non-binary as well.
I identify as bigender. I'm a femboy, so I'm a man who sometimes or most of the time dresses up or experiences the female side of me.
So in the 2016 election, who did you vote for?
I don't even remember who was running.
Did you vote?
I'm pretty sure I did, yeah. No, I didn't. I did not, no.
Okay, so who do you think was running in 2016? Like, if you had to take a guess?
Wasn't it Obama and...
Close.
Wasn't it? No, it was
Let's try this. I believe in you.
2016. What is it? It is currently 2018. Then the election was in the... Was to... Who was it? It was...
I'll give you a hand. He's got orange skin.
Oh, it was Trump and frickin' Clinton.
I've been saying this like all day. Like
Why are the cops here?
cops here, yeah.
Probably to protect people. Don't you guys want to be protected?
Well, security does not equal police, and police, like in the United States, are like way over militarized, and so they're a force that are harming people more often.
So then who would protect us with guns in case there was like a terrorist attack or something? That's just like my question.
Security does not equal police. We don't have to have police here. There's like
maybe private citizens with guns or not?
no.
It's like armed security?
I think so. I think that it's just that the police are not trained well, and there's not like a lot.
Do you think security are trained better than police?
I don't think that. I think that there's like a widespread like harm being done from all of these like militarized like forces against citizens, and I don't have a solution, to be honest with you, but I know that it's not to have militarized police at any event.
Okay.
Gender isn't real.
Yeah.
Okay, because gender isn't real. Well, then I have a question. Then shouldn't they probably cancel the Girl Scouts?
I mean, they could change the name because like it's also Scouts and they do some different stuff. So like the one could be for people who want to do more outdoorsy stuff, and the other could be for, I don't know what the Girl Scouts do. So
guys can join the Girl Scouts, or guys can work at Girl Scout camp at least.
Yeah, working is different. I mean, I work. I mean, there's like all boys schools and there's female teachers. You said that gender isn't real. Could you explain that?
I mean, it's really however you want to perceive yourself, like masculinity and femininity or anything in between, and like the sex that you're born with doesn't really matter for how you want to identify.
Okay. So maybe we should only let girls who identify as boys join the Boy Scouts?
No. Because gender is definitely like, it's not necessarily, it's kind of like, I guess it's more like mentally, kind of, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Where'd you learn that? Here?
Personal experience.
So what do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
I think that there are certain like standards, like gender standards that are placed in the Boy Scouts where it's like, oh, like to become men, it's like you have to do these things. It's like strong, brave, learn how to like use skills, and then.
Do you like those skills in guys?
They're fine. That's
You
not.
think they're positive skills?
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's not just like.
Like if we have to go to war, do you want weak, non-brave men out on the battlefield?
No.
Right. We want like strong, brave men who can lead our country. So wouldn't that be good to have like the Boy Scouts?
On the battlefield.
Do you want to get drafted as well?
Yeah, I mean. That's
Can you pick me up? Can you pick me up and carry me?
currently no.
That's all I'm asking. If I got shot, you want to try?
There are definitely like people who could be able to do that.
Right, I'm 205 pounds, but if we let women have the exact same rights, then they need to be drafted too, right?
I mean, yeah, but like that's not.
It's not really fair, right? If I can die for my country, you don't have to, and you get to reap the benefits.
No, I mean that's why I'm saying that everybody should be drafted, and like it doesn't really matter.
But if you're drafted and you're on the battlefield, how could you carry me if I was wounded?
Well, I'd go through military training, and obviously I'd get stronger.
And so would I. I'd probably gain like 30 or 40 pounds.
Okay, well there are other like people who are like stronger than me, and they would be able to actually carry you.
Right. So I'm saying so that's probably good then that we have individual groups in our society that train men how to become strong and brave.
Yes, in certain aspects, but I don't know how to answer that.
So you think they do that maybe because there's differences between men and women?
I don't know how to answer that.
You think there's differences between men and women?
I mean, kind of only because we're taught that like we can be whatever we want to be in the end.
I recently watched a group of protesters, most of them young, denouncing President Donald Trump's immigration policies. They were waving Mexican flags and shouting, "Si se puede!" Yes, we can. This is now the rallying cry of the open borders left, but it wasn't always. In fact, I wondered if a single person at the protest knew where it came from. The slogan first became famous 50 years ago, thanks to Cesar Chavez. He was the founder of the United Farm Workers Union. When Chavez said, "Si se puede," he meant something very different. Yes, we can seal the borders. Cesar Chavez hated illegal immigration. He was Hispanic, obviously, and definitely on the left, but he fought to keep illegal Mexican immigrants out of this country. He understood that peasants from Latin America will always work for less than Americans will. That's why employers prefer them. Chavez knew that. As long as we have a poor country bordering California, he once explained, it's going to be very difficult to win strikes. In 1969, Chavez led a march down the center of California to protest the hiring of illegal immigrant produce pickers. Marching alongside him was Democratic Senator Walter Mondale and the Reverend Ralph Abernathy, the longtime aide to Martin Luther King. 10 years later, Chavez dispatched armed union members into the desert to assault Mexican nationals who were trying to sneak across the border. Chavez's men beat immigrants with chains and whips made of barbed wire. Illegal aliens who dared to work as scabs had their houses firebombed and their cars burned. Chavez wasn't embarrassed about any of this. He bragged about it. No matter. Chavez remains a progressive hero. President Obama declared his birthday a commemorative federal holiday. It's an official day off in a half a dozen states. There's a college named after him and dozens of public schools. Cesar Chavez's life is a reminder of how much the left has changed and how quickly. Until recently, most Democrats agreed with Chavez. They opposed unchecked immigration because they knew it hurt American workers, and they were right. One study by a Harvard economist examined the effects of the mass migration of Cuban refugees to this country in 1980, the so-called Mariel boat lift. He found that American workers in Miami with a high school education saw their wages fall by more than 30% after the refugees arrived. If you believe in supply and demand, this is not surprising. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, Democratic Governor Jerry Brown opposed letting Vietnamese refugees into California on the grounds that the state already had enough poor people. As he put it at the time, there's something a little strange about saying, let's bring in 500,000 more people when we can't take care of the 1 million Californians out of work. First-term Senator Joe Biden of Delaware agreed. He introduced federal legislation to curb the arrival of the Vietnamese. 2 decades later, leading Democrats were still wary of mass immigration, especially illegal immigration. As Bill Clinton put it in the 1995 State of the Union address, Americans are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public services they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. No prominent Democrat would say anything like that today without being denounced as a racist. Clinton got a standing ovation. As late as 2006, there were still liberals who cared about the economic effects of immigration, legal or illegal. Immigration reduces the wages of domestic workers who compete with immigrants, explained economist Paul Krugman in the New York Times. We'll need to reduce the inflow of low-skilled immigrants. Mainly that means better controls on illegal immigration. That same year, Senator Hillary Clinton voted for a fence on the Mexican border. So did Barack Obama and Chuck Schumer and 23 other Senate Democrats. Not anymore. 20 years after Bill Clinton told Americans they had the right to be upset about illegal immigration, his wife scolded the country for enforcing border controls. So what changed? Not the economics of it. The law of supply and demand remained in effect. It's not a coincidence that as illegal immigration surged, wages for American workers stagnated. What changed is that Democrats stopped caring about those workers, about the middle class, really. Why? Here's the answer in 4 simple facts. 1. According to a recent study from Yale, there are at least 22 million illegal immigrants living in the United States. 2. Democrats plan to give all of them citizenship. Read the Democrats' 2016 party platform. 3. Studies show the overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. 4. The biggest landslide in American presidential history was only 17 million votes. Do the math. The payoff for Democrats? Permanent electoral majority for the foreseeable future. In a word, power. That's the point, no matter what they tell you. American workers be damned. I'm Tucker Carlson.
Thank you for watching this video. To help keep PragerU videos free, please consider making a tax-deductible donation.
And Republicans proudly stand with the brave men and women of ICE, Border Patrol, and we stand with law enforcement. And we better start as a country getting smart and getting tough and not letting that stuff right back there, all those cameras, tell us how to live our lives. Because they are really dishonest people. Not all of them, but damn well most of them, that I can tell you. Fake news. Because other presidents all said they're going to do it. Many, many presidents. We're going to do it, we're going to do it. Then the pressure goes on them and they don't do it. And I see why. I don't blame them. Every leader called me up. Don't do it, please don't do it, don't do it. You know the story. I've refused to take their phone calls. I said, tell them I'll call them back on Thursday. Next week. And I'm signing like on Wednesday. Tell them I'm calling them back on Thursday. I look forward to speaking to them. Then I sign the deal, announce the deal. Then I call them back. Yeah, hi, how you doing? What's up? Well, we wanted to talk to you about Israel, but it's a little late. The Democrat agenda is radical socialism and open borders. The new platform of the Democrat Party is to abolish ICE. What a great idea. You know why? Because the people that work for ICE, they love our country, but they're very tough people. Guess what? That's what we need to take care of MS-13, all the gangs. Did you see 4 weeks ago when Pfizer and Novartis and other drug companies raised the prices of their drugs very, very substantially? And I didn't like it, and I called them. I said, you can't do that. Can't do that. And the first time, and I give them credit, and I really thank them too, honestly. But first time in history, they rescinded their price increase, and they kept it the same, and they promised no increase for substantial time. But we're going to get them down. And when I called them up and they agreed to immediately rescind, perhaps that's the first time I realized how powerful it is to be the President of the United States. So illegal immigration takes American lives, American jobs, and American taxpayer dollars. A border wall, which is moving faster than anybody would believe, is truly a life-saving barrier against deadly floods of drugs, crimes, smugglers, traffickers, cartels. Our brave border agents want a wall. They need a wall. It's happening. It's moving. We have made so much progress. We will finish the wall. Republicans want to protect Medicare for our great seniors who have earned it and they've paid for it. And we will always protect Americans with pre-existing conditions. We're going to take care of them. Some of the Democrats have been talking about ending pre-existing conditions, and some people have. You know what I say? We'll get a little more money from China. It'll be just fine. Okay? It'll be just fine. Despite our size, America is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. This is where people want to be. Since my election, we've picked up in worth $11.7 trillion. Think of it, trillion. And we're going to get along great with China, but we're doing things with China, and they've dropped about 20 trillion. But you know what? They're going to be just fine. But they have to treat us fairly. They have to treat us fairly. Right? I think I probably won because of women. I hate to tell you, men. Remember, now they're starting the same thing. It's like a replay. Will he do well? Women, by the way, what do they want? They want security. Both real security and economic security. They don't want to have criminals all over the place. They want to be able to have a great family and raise a great family. They want great education for their family and their kids. I'm the one that gives you that. They don't give it to you on the other side, folks. Don't get complacent. Remember this. For whatever reason, the party that wins the presidency almost always loses in the midterm. I don't know what that's all about. No, they get complacent. Not here, right? So here's the difference we have. We probably have the greatest economy in the history of our country. So why would we lose? And just don't be complacent, okay? Don't be. And then what happens, you go on, and what happens often, so they lose the midterm, and then they go on to crush in 2020, in the next presidential. I want to win this, and then I win that. We're putting America first. It hasn't happened in a lot of decades. We're putting them first. We're taking care of ourselves for a change, folks. You know what a globalist is? A globalist is a person that wants the globe to do well, frankly, not caring about our country so much. And you know what? We can't have that. You know, they have a word. It sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist. And now, as you know, the Canadian market, which was not open, is now open. Go do well. And it's a great agreement. And we're not going to lose our businesses anymore. We're not going to have them move down and build plants and build all sorts of things. And we've gotten tremendous reviews on that agreement. So we're very proud of the USMCA. And to a very large extent, it started here because of a specialty dairy, little tiny dairy product, okay? Really good. Because I saw what happened. You were treated unfairly. We will fully secure the border for you. We will pass Kate's Law, which has already been passed by the House. We will stop sanctuary cities, stop catch and release, end the visa lottery that we talked about, end chain migration. And we will keep the criminal drug dealers and terrorists the hell out of our country. And for the sake of our great children, we are going to work, we are going to fight, and we are going to win, win, win. And we are going to keep winning. It will be total victory. You know it, and so do I. We will not bend. We will not break. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never surrender. And we will always fight on to victory. Always.